My perfect latke bite. So you have your latke, a dollop of crème fraîche, a piece of smoked salmon, some caviar, a little bit of chive. It's perfect.
That sounds amazing.
We're gonna have that, Vaughn. We're gonna have that.
Do you have that stuff?
We have all of that stuff. Holidays in my house are boisterous, messy, sugar-coated, a little bit greasy, but like in a good way. They're just joyous. They're full of a lot of love. Can I just say two more?
Yeah.
Convivial, festive. Those are just such good words. I just had to say them.
Can you tell me what convivial means?
Convivial! It's like a bunch of people come over your house and you're just all together having a good time. That's convivial. In our house, we celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas. I grew up Jewish, my husband grew up Christian, and we like to bring both traditions into the house. December always starts with latkes, because to me, Hanukkah and latkes, they are the same thing. I know a lot of people do donuts. I know you can fry anything in oil and celebrate Hanukkah that way, but we are all about the latkes. We love our latkes. So when December rolls around, I get a little twitchy. I'm like, okay, do I have the potatoes? Do I have the onions? Do I have oil? Are we ready?
Do you remember your first latke?
Oh God, my first latke was in utero, I'm sure. I mean, I always had latkes. There were always latkes. People always say that you tell someone you love them by feeding them something delicious. For me, it's a hot latke. Like, I'm gonna take the time and I'm gonna make a latke for you right before you are ready to eat it. And that is my way of telling you I love you. Of course, I might make you fry one for me too. It's part of the thing, you know, it's a big exchange. The latke party is very casual. We are frying the latkes together, we're making the latkes together, we're eating them with our hands, and I have a toppings bar, so everyone can personalize their own individual latke. Maybe you like applesauce and sour cream, and maybe you like smoked salmon and crème fraîche. There are some purists who eat it plain. Everybody should have the latke that they want. All right, latkes. You start with high starch potatoes because you want the potato starch to keep the latkes together. You can peel your potatoes or not. I usually peel, but it's up to you. I use about 1 pound of potatoes to 1 onion. Oh man. These are my onion goggles. I can't do onions without them.
Do they work?
Yes. You want to grate the potatoes, but not too finely. The coarser the strands are, the crispier they are when they hit the oil. So coarsely grated potatoes and onion. You grate the onion along with the potato. I use a food processor. So this is one of those little produce bags that you get, and I'm going to use it to squeeze out the potatoes and onions instead of a dish towel. Unlike a cotton towel, which will absorb all the liquid and then it's hard to get it dry, this one you can just keep going. This just also helps your latkes get crisp, because when you're getting rid of some of the moisture, then they can absorb more of the oil, which is exactly what you want. So make sure to either wring them dry, or you can put them in a colander and press the moisture out. You've got your grated potato, you've got your grated onion, and that's when you mix in an egg. The egg just really helps everything stay together. And a little bit of baking powder, salt, a little bit of flour, or you could use matzo meal. I like to use flour. You mix it all together. I usually use my hands. You've got your hot pan of oil, and as soon as that oil starts to shimmer, that's when you start frying your latkes. So you want them to be big enough to hold lots of stuff on top, but not too big that you can't just hold it in one hand and eat it. While you fry these, you want to make sure to smush them down, and that helps them cook more evenly. Fry them until golden on both sides, and as soon as you lift them out of the oil and put them on a towel, you want to just put a teeny bit of fine sea salt. You know, seasoning right at the last minute, I think, makes a difference. It makes them more French fry-ish, which is a very good thing. Latke party is the messiest thing I could possibly do. I mean, I'm frying gallons of oil. When you leave here, you will smell like a latke. You will smell like oil, you will smell like onions, and you will smell like potatoes. Sorry, so don't plan on going somewhere fancy afterwards. I have to shampoo my hair immediately, or I can't sleep. The second you put those latkes on a tray, your guests will pick up those latkes. You will not even have a second to restock that platter. They're just gonna eat them immediately. And then let them top their latkes to their heart's content. Mwah! It's perfect. My husband, Christmas morning was the big joy of his childhood and his life, so we wanted to incorporate that into our family. And we make a special breakfast every year, of course. It's French toast that has a brûlée top. So imagine French toast, custardy, and then on top is a brown sugar, glassy, crunchy candy layer. And then we put maple syrup on top of that because we are wild and crazy and because it's Christmas. Before you go to bed on Christmas Eve, I know it's late, I know you just had a giant party in your house and you're really tired, but if you soak the French toast before you go to sleep, when you wake up, breakfast is going to be so much easier. You can also use brioche if you don't have challah. You can even use white bread, but challah I think is the best. If you have not dried out your challah, if you have like a very fresh one, this is your opportunity. So you take your sliced bread and you can either let it sit out overnight or you can put it in a low oven for an hour or two, and that just evaporates some of the moisture. It's an optional step. Don't do it if you don't have time. I use whole eggs and egg yolks. The egg yolks just make it so much richer. And then you want to mix that with cream and milk and whatever flavorings you want. I mean, I love nutmeg and vanilla. I like to use dark rum personally. Sometimes people add sugar to the custard mix. I don't do that with this recipe because I'm adding sugar at the end. And then you pour the custard on top and you make sure that you get everything nice and coated. And then you want to let it sit in the fridge for at least 4 hours, or we usually do it overnight. No plastic wrap necessary, and this goes in the fridge. To make the brown sugar topping, it's just a mix of melted butter and light brown sugar. And spread it out on a baking tray. When you bake it, that becomes your crunchy, shiny, candy-like topping. So you have that on the bottom of the pan, and then you just put your challah slices right on top. The sugar on the bottom should be bubbling and brown and gorgeous. Then you want to serve it immediately while it's still hot. So you just take a spatula, you scoop out your French toast, and then you flip it over because the brown sugar is on the bottom of the pan and you want it to be on the top of your French toast when you serve it. So everybody could go, ooh, ah, it's just beautiful. And then if it's Christmas, you want to top it with even more maple syrup. It might be a little excessive on any other day of the year, but on Christmas, it's just right. Come on, right? The holidays are such a crazy time. For all of us, we're running around, we're buying presents, we're going to other people's parties. We have our big latke party, which is just filled with all of our friends and all of our people. It's hectic, it's chaotic. But by the time we get to Christmas morning, it's the end of it for us. It's the end of the holiday season, and it's our grounding time where you're just together, we're cozy. No one is knocking on our door. We're spending time with each other. We're eating French toast. And it's this moment of real peace. The holidays, as much as it's about being hectic and family and friends, it's also about peace, and it should be. And so for us, that Christmas morning brings us together in a way that we don't have any other time of the year.